Hello, everyone at 1995, here with a new fanfiction story for you all. It has been requested by Plush and Family 364 again, and it's a Dragon Ball Z and Kill La Kill. I do hope you enjoy it. I found 2 Dragon Ball Z and Kill La Kill fanfiction, but the second one it is rated for mature and would have an age restriction, so for my younger viewers, sorry, you must be 18 to watch it. The first Ball Z and Kill La Kill fanfiction called It's Clear to Me by PointBlankShot. 11 years had passed since Gohan traveled to Namek. Now, having turned 16, he finds himself enrolled at school, precisely, Honnouji Academy, where he will have to face the things he has been repelling for years, fighting and senseless violence. However, while all that occurs, a vengeful menace vowing to eradicate the Super Saiyan who killed his brother approaches the Earth. You can find this fanfiction in fanfiction.net. Sorry, this fanfic had 1 chapter. I do hope you all enjoy the story. It's Clear to Me. 11 years. 11 years had passed since Gohan traveled to Namek along with Krillin and Bulma, in order to gather the Dragon Balls and resurrect their fallen comrades. At least the ones that could be revived. Porky Outsa, Gohan often thought. Only Yamcha, Tien and Piccolo were resurrected successfully, but the price for doing so was high, perhaps too much. The death of not only thousands of Namekians but of his father, Goku, and who Gohan considered his uncle, Krillin, was still a scar that would refuse to abandon the remaining Z fighters for the rest of their lives. However, as years passed by, the Earth had changed, the people around them changed, and perhaps that even they changed. For better or for worse, that was yet to be seen. Gohan squiggled as the sunlight entering his room finally woke him up, and the teenager rolled on his unmade bed, so he could not be disturbed by the light coming from the window. However, tranquility became impossible once he heard the alarm clock's sound, and just when he was about to crush the clock next to his bed with his strong hands, the half-breed's eyes widened. He almost never did something for the sake of doing it, and at remembering this, Gohan also recalled the reason as to why he set the clock to wake him at this exact hour. It was a school day. Gohan stood up from his bed, not even bothering to turn off the clock, and rapidly padded to the bathroom, where he did his needs only to run out of the house afterwards. Greeting his mother in the kitchen quickly, it left her baffled. However, the baffling dissolved into pride after some moments. She was proud that her son cared deeply about punctuality. That was a vital thing for the jobs out there. Gohan got rid of the clothes he used for sleeping by jumping off them onto the barrel already full of water, washing himself up. As he did all of this, Gohan recalled that he didn't have the uniform of the school due to not knowing where the school was, and therefore, he washed some clothes for this day. They were in the clothes line his mother put between their house and the old hut where his great-grandfather and Goku, his father, lived. The hybrid smiled when turning around in the steel barrel and seeing both his long-sleeved white t-shirt and red trousers hanging on the clothes line. Everything's ready, he thought out loud. As he finished washing himself up, he got off the barrel and walked over to the clothes line. Apart from his clothes, a towel was also on it. Gohan recalled his mother was the one who placed it there yesterday as he dried himself off with the towel. Upon finishing, he put on his clothes and strolled into the kitchen through the door of the white hut. The scent of the eggs with rice cooked by his mother reached his nose, and the half-breed, being what he was, couldn't help the hunger amassing inside his stomach, much less the noise it made afterwards. She sighed. I know you're hungry, Gohan. Just wait. Gohan nodded in response. Yeah, Mom. Maintaining a single Saiyan wasn't an easy task. Before, the son didn't have problems with it. The fortune of the Ox King, Gohan's grandfather and Shishi's father was more than enough to feed Goku, and later Gohan. However, nothing in the world was infinite, nothing except a Saiyan's hunger. Shishi bet Saiyan's stomachs were bottomless. In a few minutes, Shishi managed to cook 4 bowls of eggs and rice. She fully knew Gohan could eat much, much more than that, but money was running out. She had told him that the maximum he could take was 3 bowls in the morning, and Gohan had to comply unless he wanted to face the fury of the matriarch from the family. Gohan, like the good boy he was, complied, though when he felt unsatisfied with the breakfast, he secretly went into the forest close to Mount Paozu, to hunt just like he did in his childhood. Dinosaur's tail was still as tasty as he remembered. Shishi placed the 2 bowls on the table and Gohan, unable to wait for the food but also wanting to aid his mother, went for the other 2 bowls and put them on the table, sitting and starting to eat using the chopsticks. For another person, the way Gohan ate would have been hasty and somewhat animalistic, but for Shishi, it was completely normal. It was a day-by-day thing. Not only that, but it also reminded her of her beloved husband, Goku, and that made breakfast more enjoyable. Goku wasn't perfect, he had a lot of flaws, like his ignorance over plenty of stuff, his childish demeanor at times, his absence. However, he also had his fair share of good things, things that in the end made Shishi love him: his desire to protect those he cared for, his loyalty, his stubbornness and mentality of never giving up. Additionally, he was serious when the situation required it. Shishi cherished him because of all these things, and to this day, she still missed him. She would miss Gohan, too. The school he was going to would keep him there until he finished his studies. They would only see each other during holidays, perhaps. Once Shishi finished eating, she asked, "Gohan, dear, you packed everything you need, right?" Gohan nodded before swallowing the food inside his mouth and then continued to eat voraciously. He heard his mother say, "I still think it would be much better if you wanted to take the big backpack with you." The half-breed almost choked when he heard the mere mention of that brown, great backpack. Last time he carried it with him, it was on a camping trip with Bulma, Oolong, Master Roshi, Krillin, and Goku. Everyone freaked out at it because it had enough supplies and stuff to allow a normal person to survive in the mountains for months, even though the camping trip only lasted a day. He felt so ashamed back then, and he didn't want to relive that. "I like the dark bag," Gohan affirmed with his mouth full, mostly because he didn't want to carry the great backpack with himself than really liking the bag he decided to use for school. That portable closet was made for the sole purpose of camping. "I know, still." Gohan swallowed. "No, please no, Mom." "Oh. Gohan, don't forget to ask about your uniform." Shishi reminded him, and Gohan could feel relief washing all over him, and he embraced it as he sighed. "Got it, Mom. And your books?" "All right," Gohan replied as he started to eat his second bowl. He was given only 3, but they were full to the top, unlike Shishi's, who naturally ate less than him. "And Gohan?" Gohan's onyx eyes darted to his mother, expectant. "Be a good student, do every task and don't get in trouble." The question was surprising. He had always been a good kid, right? Apart from some times, very few times in which his temper got the best of him, and his mother had to scold and chastise him, like that one time when he got angry at a teacher his mother hired because he insulted his father. Actually, that time his mother didn't scold him, because just when he was going to punch that mister so hard his descendants would inherit the bruises, his mother, who was hearing all from the other side of the door, chimed in. And it wasn't precisely to protect the professor, but Gohan still recalled it as one of the few times he lost his cool. Nonetheless, Gohan nodded at his mother's request, eliciting a happy smile from her. She didn't quite know why she told that to Gohan, she just had a presentiment. Maybe she was being paranoid. Some moments after eating, Gohan stepped out of the house, along with his mother. "I'll visit you whenever I can, Mom." "Be careful, Gohan," she replied as she hugged her son strongly and the latter embraced her too. She, of course, didn't lose the chance to grab him by the cheeks, exclaiming, "My baby boy has grown so much." Though the moment was a little overbearing for Gohan, he still would enjoy it. After her cuddling ended, Gohan turned around with a smile and inhaled. "Flying Nimbus." She swore that the shout shook the ground. Birds flew off the nearby forest, and she even saw a pterodactyl couple getting away from the zone. As the seconds passed, she could spot a yellow speck in the mountains, and Gohan grinned at seeing it. The magic cloud once owned by Roshi and passed on to his father was now aiding him. The Nimbus flew fast to the house, and while it did so, Gohan remembered something important. "I almost forgot." He ran over to the old hut where Gohan and Goku lived years ago and burst through the doors, much to Shishi's surprise. The Nimbus had just arrived, and Gohan went to the hut with no apparent reason, though he said he forgot something. That silly boy forgot about his belt. She figured, remembering that Gohan hadn't put his belt on his pants, and she shook her head in disapproval. An upset glance was what she gave her son when he stepped outside the hut, with his belt put and a goofy grin adorning his features, scratching his head. "Sorry about that." Gohan hopped to the Nimbus, sitting on it. He gave a last glance to his mother, and said, "Goodbye, Mom." "Goodbye, Gohan." She smiled again. And so, the flying Nimbus finally blasted off into the sky. When Gohan was far enough of his house, and as his dark long spiky hair was shaken by the wind, he looked inside his black bag and pulled out a deeply appreciated thing, with an incalculable sentimental value for him and what he almost forgot in the hut of Grandpa Gohan, the Dragon Ball of 4 stars. He smiled. This was the only keepsake from his father whom he had, and he always carried it with him. It made him feel as if his father was still there, watching him from somewhere and seeing just how much he had grown and progressed. And in a certain way, he wasn't wrong. Yamcha, being the only passenger on a bus, slept on the bunch of seats close to the driver's seat comfortably, and comfortably meant him to drool and with his head lolling to the side. It remained like that until the bus came to a halt, and the driver glanced at him with an irked look. "Hey, buddy, when do you intend to go?" The warrior kept sleeping regardless of the calls from the man, and he could feel anger amassing on him. He walked over to the seat and let a smirk creep across his lips. An evil idea passed through his mind. The guy proceeded to hit Yamcha straight in the face. Well, he attempted to hit Yamcha in the face. One moment he was about to hit the sleeping guy and at the other, he was off the bus, lying on the pavement of the road, with a sore cheek. Yamcha stepped off the bus passing a hand across his mouth, wiping away the saliva coming from his mouth and looking at the driver who just tried to hit him, a cocky smirk flashing across his face. "Trust me, I always try to avoid violence, friend, but when the wolf is bitten, he bites back, you know. You're a bastard. I'll sue you for this," the punched driver declared, pointing to the warrior, much to Yamcha's amusement at his logic. "If I recall correctly, you were the one who tried to hit me while sleeping, I should be the one suing you." But Yamcha's gaze briefly directed to the left, at the entrance of a poor-looking city, and then he looked back at the driver, who had just stood up. "I'm currently busy with some stuff that doesn't concern you, so, see ya around. Yamcha gave the guy a two-fingers wave before strolling out of the spot, not before tossing some money to the guy because he hadn't paid before. Yamcha didn't need to glance behind to know that the guy got in the bus and then left the way he came. Through the highway, the noises of the motors could be heard. Then, after some walking, Yamcha finally placed a foot on his destination, his head cocking a bit backwards so he could appreciate just how majestuous the city was. The thing that stood out of all these buildings was a white tower, and Yamcha could see that the clouds formed a spiral around the whole city. It was amazing. So, this Honu city. Pretty cool, I have to say. And with that, Yamcha strolled into the streets of Honu, and what awaited him there was unknown. He expected just a normal job as a teacher, but who knew? Maybe life had another stuff in store for him. Life was unpredictable at times.
Hey guys, what's going on? Thank you so much for watching today's episode. If you guys want to watch more like it, please subscribe to my channel and become part of the video game fanfiction plot. And please leave a comment down below and hit that like button. If you guys have any suggestions on any stories you guys want me to read, don't hesitate. They're always welcome here in the video game fanfic plot. That also goes for video games. Until next time, goodbye!